This video is made for adult collectors because even this train combiner can't stand up straight. God damn it. All right, we got 1 train, 2 train, 3 train, a train. I'm kidding. After not being able to find a G1 Raiden for a reasonable price, I'm not paying $1,000 for that, or a Micromaster Train Combiner for a reasonable price, also not paying like $600 for that, and being disappointed with MPG Raiden that after that video I sold it. Okay, well that's... I want a good train combiner. So Rail Racer, let's try that thing. Wow, these 3 look like idiots. What's going on here? Bro did leg day and nothing else. This dude's built like me. And this guy has the world's most inconvenient shoulder pads, but I like them. They're just as goofy as the toy line they come from, and it really fits the aesthetic of those, something MPG Raiden failed to do with trying to be modern model train size and not fitting into the masterpiece aesthetic. I'm so glad I don't have that anymore. They feel creaky, but like they're old. Oh, and I also managed to get this whole set for $100 at TFCon. Hunt for deals, folks. These 3 though can't really do much. They can pose, which I will get to later, but looking good, that's about as far as they're gonna go. Rapid Run is the odd one out, I'd say, because he's the only one that isn't white. Apparently he's also the strongest of the 3, which is funny considering Midnight Express looks like that. Speaking of which, what a goober whose shoulders like to come off, but I'm chalking that down to age, I guess. Rail Spike looks the least cohesive, and this is because like the front looks like the back because of all the exposed screws, but it isn't. It's weird. The 3 of them come with guns, 2 of which fire missiles, and 1 of them lights up, but it's pretty much entirely made out of rust on the inside, so I ain't gonna be able to show that off. I'm also not gonna open it because I'll probably breathe in and get all of the different types of tetanus. Rapid Run can also use his gun as a shield, which is neat. They're a nice size though. I'd say like if they did modern Voyagers of these, I would be so down for that. So whose articulation do we start with for? Let's start with the one that has the most, or the most usable, I should say. Midnight Express. Pretty sure this is like Midnight Express. I think so. So he's got a ball joint at the head, so he can look left and right. There's also a hinge, which allows him to look up. And it's a ratcheted hinge, so yeah, he can look down into his own chest. Shoulders are on ball joints. They can go out that far. There's no bicep rotation, but there's enough play in the joint to give you that. Double jointed elbows. Nothing at the waist other than it can compress. There you go. You can make him look like this if you want to. The hips can go forward that far. They can go back that far. They can go out that far. You have thigh rotation. 90-degree of bend at the knee, and the knee is so high up that it doesn't accomplish anything. And then you have an ankle swivel here and nothing here. So yeah, that's the most posable, well, most usable articulation of the 3, because he fell over. Because, oh, come on. You have rotation at the head, rotation at the shoulders. They can go out that far. You do have a double jointed elbow with bicep rotation, nothing at the waist. Hips can go forward. They can't go back. These hip skirts move out of the way to accommodate the outward motion, but yeah, it doesn't do that. There's a below the knee swivel, a 90-degree or not 90-degree, like that much bend at the knee, and then you can use this joint as well if you want to, and then nothing at the feet. So he's very awkward. Then we have Rapid Run. Rapid Run, as you can see, this doesn't do anything. So you got the head rotates, shoulders are on ball joints, they can do whatever, no bicep swivels, elbow bends 90 degrees, the wrists can hinge. He's the only one with a waist joint. Hips can go forward, they can go back, they can go in and out. There's no swivel at all. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee and nothing at the feet. Now this knee, as you notice when I put him down, he sinks into it. It appears that the locking mechanism in this knee is broken. So every time I have to stand him up, I constantly have to shift this one down so he can stay there. Otherwise he'll just teeter. So yeah, you don't buy these for their articulation because the Leaning Tower of Pisa here can't do anything. So the robots are goobers, but this is only one of the 3 things it can become, so train time. So we ended the articulation segment with Rapid Run? Rapid Run. So let's get this guy into train mode. So to start with, you fold the feet down, you compress these little rocket boosters, and then compress those, compress that, and that's the back of the train pretty much done. Rotate the waist 180 degrees and collapse the legs. I wish they tabbed into each other. They don't tab into each other, but collapse the legs in like that. That sort of keeps them stable, but I still wish they had a peg. Would have been nice. Fold the head in, bring this section up, take the arms and rotate them backwards and collapse them. And then fold these in. And there you have that part of the tray. Now you take the weapon, you fold up the hinge for the handle, fold these panels in, and then you bring it down and over this, and it will close up. And then you take this section here and you plug it in underneath to form the hitch for the other trains. And that is Rapid Run in his train mode. Now we will do Midnight Express, because he's interesting. So to start with, you take his gun and you actually disassemble it into 3 equal pieces. And we'll put that off to the side. Now you take him and you rotate this foot around, compress that in, bring that down, and compress that all into place. This section you bring out like that, collapse the heel in, rotate the foot, and close it up. Now we want to do the head. So you straighten out and flatten the head, fold this section in, collapse the arms. They will go up like that on their double hinge and then fold into the shoulder pads. They're very stiff. Now the waist. Close this up, compress that. Now the hips have to be in a very specific orientation for them to slide in. So you bring the leg back, then bring this up, then fold this out, and then compress it in, and it will sit in place. Take this section, fold the handle in, and peg it into underneath here, and that will store inside of there. So you do the same on this side. You bring this around, bring this up and out of the way, bring this around. Come on, there we go. Nope, come on, there we go. Compress it in, close this section up. This never wants to sit fully flush on mine, so there's always a gap. And then you take the missile and you load it back into the cannon, bring the hitch out, and then this entire assembly here will go into this hole and lock into place. And that is Midnight Express. Now Rail Spike. Remove his gun. Take his head, compress it in. It's a spring-loaded head. So you bring this section up and over like that to keep it in place. Then you want to take the arms, rotate them 180 degrees, and fold them in. Rotate these up, and fold that up and click it into place, and then compress the head into the cavity. Then the legs are simple. You just fold these up, fold up the feet, swing this around 180 degrees. These peg in, and then compress. Now, they don't peg into here at all, so this moves quite a bit. And because of how old this is, it doesn't stay in place properly. And then you take this and you unfold it, and it will just tab in underneath to form the hitch. Oh, fold up the handle. Someone in the comments will tell me I didn't do that. How much would I bet some people are going to tell me at the beginning of the video I had his arms on backwards? I know. But that is the trick. This one is like the least best in build quality, but there you go. Trains. So these 3 bullet trains, they look pretty damn cool. A couple of them have like build quality issues with loads of wiggle room, like maybe just a couple of extra tabs or something would have been nice, but they look great. The hitches stick out a lot on a couple, but they can all link up and roll quite well. They're a nice size too, like you could sword fight with them if you wanted. Now let's get to the part that everybody wants to see, Rail Racer. Leg time. God, he's so overblown on the camera in certain angles. Like, oh, look, he blends in with the desk. We're gonna remove that. Don't leave his dingleberry in there. Take this out, pull that out. All right. Train. So basically this guy, you just are gonna get him back into robot mode mostly. So we're gonna open up these flaps, get the legs out, bring them down, pull the crotch out, pull out the crotch flap, get the feet situated properly. Yeah, come on. There we go. Now once you get all that done and ready, you realize that he's slightly uneven. There we go. You leave this collapse in, and that's the hip skirts, and there's the legs done. Now middle torso time. Remove this, remove that, get out of frame. Now rotate this, open this up, and pull that. Like that. There we go. Now you want to bring these down, bring this section down, pull out the legs, bring them back. Now I've seen configurations where these are up like this, and I have seen configurations where these are down like this. I'm gonna leave them down for now, but there may be a couple shots where they're flipped up. So that's the middle torso. We're going to take it and clip it in. Ow. Without compressing the crotch. And that's, as you can see, there's my biggest issue with it, but we'll get to that later. We'll definitely get to that later. Don't fall over. Now it's this guy's turn. Take that out. Bring the legs out, because these will become lay arms. So you split this entire assembly, you bring them down, you're gonna wanna open this, pull out the fist, and then rotate it this way, keep that straight. That's an arm. So there, there, there. And then you just basically open up the chest, pull up the head, close the chest, and that's the top half. Keep this straight. Now this is going to clip into these two clip points and over this black piece. So that's pretty difficult to do at first. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move the legs. You know what? We're just going to do it with the legs flipped up. We are going to do it with the legs flipped up because then I can get them out of the way. Also, if you notice, this paint chips this stuff here. So, you know, fun. So let's get this clicked in. Come on. That's one side. The one side's come out already. Come on. Yeah, there we go. And that's... Oh, he's gonna fall. He is going to fall. That is Rail Racer. All combined. We're just gonna leave the legs up like that. Oh, he's standing. He's standing. I gotta hurry and take the thumbnail photo. Oh, he doesn't stand very well. But he looks great. Not super huge, which makes me think they could probably do a commander of this at some point. But this does look kind of dynamic for a combiner made out of 3 trains. He does have a lot of bits hanging off, but like, of the time, that's kind of normal. Nothing really new detail-wise shows up on this, other than the head, which is a pretty sweet head sculpt. I like the way they did like the cockpit of the bullet train. It becomes like the hat and the visor and stuff. It's such a sick head design. I dig it. He can't really do poses very well, though, because he just falls over all the time. Okay, his articulation. Head on a ball joint and a hinge, so he can pretty much do whatever you'd want. Actually, is it a ball joint or is it a swivel? Oh no, it's a big ball joint. Okay. Shoulders, they can rotate, but they do bump into the backpack. They can go in and out. You have elbow bend. Below the elbow swivel, the thumb can move, the fingers can bend in. Nothing at the waist. And then the hips are, well, the legs are just Midnight Express's legs. And they are not strong enough because he will teeter at the knee. The knees needed to be ratchets. And his heels aren't big enough. Like, one of them is really big and one of them just isn't. And so, yeah, he'll fall a lot. And that's the big issue, is he falls over. He stand up straight. He falls over quite a bit. He needed more stable ankles. Like, look at his lean. Look at his lean. There's so much back heaviness going on there. If I blow on it, will it fall over? Yep, it will. But yeah, even with all of that, I still love this thing. It's super neat and really fun and kind of rickety and weird, but like, that's part of its charm. Not worth more than $100 though. It's cool, but expensive. If you can get it for $100 and less, then yes, go for it. But anything more than that, I'd say no. But that's been my look at RID2001 Rail Racer. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.